Welcome everybody to another episode of the OG podcast. You love it. It's been a minute. This is boy Wally and Rowls. I'm happy today. I'm just happy today about what we just talked about. But
You smiling from ear to
the
ear,
hell, man, I'm sorry. It's throwing off the intro. Can you
keep going, keep going.
I'm happy today.
Yes.
I'm with my man, the keeper of civilian order.
Yes, sir.
It is Rowls. Yes, and this is the OG podcast, right?
Yes.
The OGAR podcast. It is hosted by two OGs dedicated to preserving the sanctity of geek culture.
There we go.
And a big part of my life, as far as geek culture is concerned, is what we'll be talking about today. And I'm flustered because I'm so happy. I'm so happy to talk about Mortal Kombat 2. Let's just get on into it. I'm so happy because a lot of who I am is a result of that video game. And I'm happy because that first one that they put out a little while ago was buns, as the kids say.
Said buns.
It was boo-boo.
Wow.
So leading into this and seeing all the trailers, I had already made up my mind I wasn't going to see it after having been scarred
Really?
from the first one.
I had a different reaction. The trailer actually got me interested. I was like, okay, it seems like they were attempting to make a correction. I just wasn't convinced that they were actually, when I show up for the movie, if it actually came to fruition.
I guess the trailer was no, it's not a bad one,
Right.
but I reminded myself that they gave me free 8 minutes of free footage of the first one. Remember they did that? They released the first 8 minutes.
Yes, because we were in COVID time.
Yeah, and they were like, "Here, you want to watch the first one?" And so in a way, that was a very long trailer,
Right.
and it was excellent.
Yeah, so it was Sub-Zero, right?
Yeah, so it was Sub-Zero
family.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking, I don't care how many good trailers they put out. This could be the best part of the movie. I'm not interested. So, I guess you can actually probably tell I enjoyed the movie because otherwise I wouldn't be so elated today. But let's get into it. Again, this is the sequel to the, I guess, COVID release of the first one.
Right. They were rebooting. They're rebooting the franchise during COVID.
Yes. Because if you're a fan, you realize that there were some movies before these, the MK movies before these, and
A failed TV show too. I think it was like Mortal Kombat Legacy or something like that.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat is an IP that is, it's a cornerstone in geek culture, man. Especially if you're into video games.
Right.
And as I was and still am, and fighting games in particular is probably Mortal Kombat 2 in particular.
Right.
Was like probably my all-time favorite fighting game. Even above all other Street Fighter games. Yeah, I was Street Fighter, but Mortal Kombat 2 had a place in my heart.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so excited about it. But what were you? I mean, saying, like you said, you weren't apprehensive about going to the movie to see it. I was, but you didn't have any.
I'm a little different, man. I think for me now, going to the movies is more of like a stress reliever. The world we're living in right now, it's like it's an escape. It's dark.
For sure.
I can watch a movie. I have not a shameless plug here, but I have like a Regal Unlimited card where I just pay my $20 a month.
Yeah,
It's only 55 cents. So what is it?
Nothing to lose other than time. And sometimes you just need to get away.
Yeah, and I try not to go into the movie
with your arms folded.
Yeah, with my arms folded, or try to have these high expectations, because normally if you come in with high expectations,
they won't get met.
They won't get met. So I walked in just, I'm hanging with friend of the podcast, Mr. Nuts, and
Mr. Nuts.
I just wanted to see. I was just curious how they were going to course correct, because it seemed like in the trailer to me that they were doing some course correction. They made it feel like it was truer to the video game. I felt like the first one took itself too seriously. and then they added a character in with Cole Young to make you care or like try to get the audience, like bring an audience in that maybe hasn't played Mortal Kombat
Right.
to care, and it just didn't.
It
It
didn't
didn't
work.
pan out.
Nope.
No disrespect to the actor that played Cole
No, I
Young,
mean, you
but it's
just
just
you
it
get
just
the paper.
yeah, it just wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't well written. Yeah, I would go ahead and say that. Yeah,
It wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't. It well.
And again,
Okay.
I'm not walking into Mortal Kombat expecting Oscar-worthy story. Yeah. I mean, it's a video game
It's correct.
movie, right?
It's tough to do those unless you're Sonic or Mario. It's tough.
Correct. Even then, I'm not expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
It's tough.
I don't even remember the story to Mario, the last Mario movie.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it was Koopa Jr. with the magic, paintbrush, and then I just,
Just,
yeah. But
just
anyway,
go with it.
yeah. But I really enjoyed this film, and I think they did a good job of taking the story from the game. And I'll admit, I am not I play Mortal Kombat, but I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat game player like you are. My game is Street Fighter, specifically Third Strike. I loved playing Third Strike with Hattori Hanzo. Me and him would just go back and forth on that.
He'd probably get on 5 then, man. I mean 6 because they brought Alex back.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
derail. Sorry.
No, you good. No, it's all related. But they did a good job of pulling source material from the game. In the story with Katana and how she becomes Katana, and Katana and Jade, and Shao Kahn, and then I like the addition of Carl Urban, and I think if Carl Urban wasn't in this film, I think the film would have failed to a degree. The only way it would save it is if all the fights were just super dope and it was just undeniable. But Carl Urban, I really do think it was a marketing move. We got to put somebody in here that is recognizable, at least to video game culture or just geek culture in
Just for
general.
the trailers, you know what I'm saying? For the people who are not necessarily familiar with the game, they recognize him from other stuff and be like, okay, I'll see what he's talking about.
He's Body Butcher's character on The Boys. He was in Star Trek as Dr. McCoy. But here with Johnny Cage, he bodied that role, man. I mean, the one-liners and all that stuff, and bringing him into the movie, I think kind of grounded it, and then it made it what it was. And he didn't even. They tried to. It seemed like they were making him the main character, like it was all about him, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. He just happened to be the vehicle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. We talk about in geek culture when somebody is OP and you have to do something.
Got to, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's the only. I mean, we'll get into it more, but that was one of the big things that stuck out to me was like we needed this MacGuffin to take out Raiden. Have him near death, so he's not like sewing people up the whole movie. Because he would just sew everybody up the whole movie. Because he's like God level.
Correct.
Right.
And I think the way,
and it's tough
to get into it.
Right.
We can get into it, but I think for Raiden in particular, he's almost like kind of like how the Watcher is in
yes.
In
the MCU,
and just in the Marvel universe in general. He's an elder god, and if the story is, and again, it's a crazy story, but it's a video game,
right?
So Shao Kahn is the ruler of the Netherrealm or whatever, not the Netherrealm, Outworld, and they fight to take realms over, and Earth is next in line, and they have to get a bunch of people from Earth to represent Earthrealm to fight for their freedom and all of that type of stuff. Well, Raiden is not a member of that realm. He's just somebody that is watching events occur.
I see.
And so he can't really get in a fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? A win for him wouldn't do anything for
I see.
the Earthrealm. You see what I'm saying? Now, that said, the dude is mighty. We do want to see him fight.
Right.
But like you said, if he did, he's sewing everybody up.
Right.
But even in the game, he wasn't OP. But he was God in the game. So it's weird. So and Raiden fans would love to see him fight, but we never get Raiden fights.
Right.
And so I kind of agree with you in that regard, because Raiden was one of my guys on Mortal Kombat II. I played with all of them.
And they use his power to bring the characters in and out. He's the portal. He's almost like Heimdall in a way.
Yep. He moves between realms and understands and can see everything that's happening, and transpiring, and is responsible for recruiting members of the next realm in line to get knocked off. If they don't, do their due diligence and whatever. But yeah, the movie did everything that it needed to do to be true to the source material. Like you said, the first one was just kind of all over the place, and I don't think they cared much about the source material. I'd be shocked if they didn't really listen to fans of the game and take notes, because clearly somebody did. And if it wasn't fans, it was people who were actually involved with the creation of the game, the Ed Boones of the world, the John Tobiases of the world, the creators of Midway Gaming and stuff like that. Somebody had to have had some say, because so much of the movie was from the game. I'm talking about down to the locations where they fought.
Right.
I recognized those screens. I recognized the Deadpool. I recognized the pit. I recognized the armory. I recognized all those screens.
Right.
And it was amazing. Every character was represented without. Now we talk about the story and being kind of hokey or whatever, but the way that characters were introduced within the story was beautifully done, actually, within the structure of the story.
Right.
Whereas most movies like this, with a lot of characters that they try to jam in, particularly with fighting games and stuff like that, they don't do a good job of introducing them or intermingling them in the story and making their part relevant. But everybody had a part to play, and it didn't feel forced.
Right.
And the MK cast was, what was it, like 16 characters? I'm not mistaken.
In the movie?
In the game.
In the game. Gotcha.
And there were only 2 that didn't make an appearance. We didn't see Melina, and we didn't see Reptile.
Right.
But everybody else was represented. And represented well. I don't know, man. I like I say, man, for me, it was personal. MK, just give you a history. MK2, we played MK1. When the first one came out, we were like, oh my God, what is this? Live, like, motion capture real people, and they ripping spines out and tearing hearts out and knocking heads off and stuff like that.
How old were you, just out of curiosity, how old were you when that first one came out? Because it was like a big deal, and I can't remember.
91 or 92 or something like that. In 91, I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
That's so, like young dude.
Right.
And man, we played that game. But then that second one came out, because we didn't think he could get better than that first one. The first game just had 7 characters. And it was amazing. But then that second one came around, and we was like, man, they outdid themselves. So by that time, I'm in college. And so I'm playing that game so much, dude, that I'm failing classes. I'm not going.
Right.
I'm in trouble with my mom. She's like, you wasted my money. I didn't finish. I didn't graduate on time. This is not hyperbole. I didn't graduate on time because I spent too much time doing things other than going to class, and a large percentage of those other things was playing Mortal Kombat 2 particularly.
Right.
And it really is a part of who I am, to the point where my major in college, I chose computer science because my love for fighting games, and that one in particular, and I was going to be a game developer when I got out of school. That was my goal. Now it didn't come to fruition, but that was like the driving force behind the classes that I chose, and computer graphics and coding and things like that. I sent a letter to Midway when I finally graduated and said I'd work for free.
Oh man.
I said, yeah, because Midway is in Chicago.
Right.
Well, I live 50 miles away from there. So I was just trying. I was like, look, I unpaid internship, please.
Right. Just to get your foot in the door.
No response. But that's how deep I went. Mortal Kombat was like, I was obsessed with it. And 2 was the one that is still number 1 in that franchise for me, just because of what it meant. And so to see them accurately depict everything in that movie, from characters to scenery to movements and some of the things that were happening in terms of the fights, it was fan service on a level that I hadn't seen in a while.
Right.
At least for me on that level, because I had an intimate relationship with Mortal Kombat 2, and so they did it properly. There was no letdown for me there. So between you and I guess those are the two perspectives. Like, you're more of a Street Fighter guy, and we'll get your opinion here pretty shortly.
Okay.
When does that movie drop? When does Street Fighter come out? Because that looks.
I'll go ahead and tell you. I literally turned to Mr. Nuts and said, Street Fighter's in trouble. Because I am not impressed with the trailer. I know that they're leaning into the camp.
They're leaning into the camp because they can't, like you said, they can't take it too seriously. It'll be probably even worse if they try to make it logical and more realistic. So they're going full crazy, spinning pile driver, 100 hands, spinning bird feet stuff. They going all the way, and it's
spinning bird feet.
It's not gonna work.
So let me ask you a question.
Yep.
No, it's not a derail, because it I guess, to bring it back to Mortal Kombat, do you think that's why Mortal Kombat is more successful, because the game had realistic? I guess let me back up for a second. So Street Fighter kind of has this illustrated anime style to it, right? To translate that to live action is probably a Herculean feat.
Very difficult.
With Mortal Kombat,
bird feet for real.
Right. With Mortal Kombat has the same stuff.
A few things, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But because Mortal Kombat had real motion capture,
yes,
like those actors, they shot those real actors back in the day.
Yes.
I don't know what they do now that technology is. I don't know if they just. I'm assuming they have models and they just 3D render the models, and then they can just train.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Probably a lot less human mocap now.
Right. Well, no, I'm pretty sure they have both that,
kind of like,
but they have 3D to fill in the rest.
Yeah,
enhance it
for sure.
But do you think, because Mortal Kombat was grounded in reality in the game, that it is easier to translate to film?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. That's
because it would be unfair for me to say that Street Fighter, when you look at the new trailer, yeah, they got the colors, and it feels video game accurate.
Yeah.
But it's just something there that feels.
Well, the stuff that to your point, man, that's a really good take, bro. That's really good, because the stuff that they do in Street Fighter, now, albeit they do some crazy stuff in Mortal Kombat, but nothing like the stuff that they do in Street Fighter.
I see what you're saying,
You
because they're
see what I'm
flying in the
saying?
air.
and they doing crazy stuff.
Right.
100 hands and
Yes.
hurricane kicks and
Right.
that stuff. You're not doing that. A lot of that stuff.
Right.
Um,
That's right. Because Mortal Kombat, the fights are still grounded in real,
somewhat,
semi-real.
yeah.
Combat
somebody
moves,
can
right.
do,
Right.
and
They just add fire to the foot.
That's it. They'll just add the graphics. Like,
Right.
like Liu Kang is still doing, some Shaolin Kung Fu.
Yeah.
But like you said, they just lighten his hand.
Now the flying kick is like more in the Street Fighter vein.
Correct.
But
it's still more believable than turning completely upside down and spinning
right,
like a top.
like a tornado. Yes.
Yes, that's gonna be, and from what I saw in the trailer, they actually have her doing it, and it looks crazy.
Now, and just to give you an example, when Street Fighter, one of my favorite anime movies is Street Fighter II, the animated movie.
Excellent.
It translates well.
Because it's animated, bro. It's
right.
Like,
Yeah.
And everybody was so gritty in that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
wasn't a whole lot of smiling and jokey. It's going about to be a lot of jokey joke
right.
stuff.
Being a Street Fighter guy, it's the same. Now, I'm probably gonna walk in with my arms folded in this one. And this is not to derail. I'm trying to like set the stage too, because back in the early 90s or mid 90s, when Mortal Kombat came out, was that 95? Let's see, when did Street Fighter come out? With
the Street Fighter came out, Street Fighter came out like 91, 90, 91, and then Mortal Kombat was like maybe 2 years later. 93 or something like that.
No, so Street Fighter came out in 94.
Not the first one?
Yep.
Not the first one.
Yes. With Van Damme, 94.
Oh, you're talking about the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, not the
I
game.
think it'd be okay. Yeah. But that movie was terrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
But it's terrible on a lot of levels because, dude, you ain't Guile. Well, Guile is American. So but see, you were trying to cash in on
Van Damme's
his popularity at that time.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been Guile. First,
right.
Terrible.
Right. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So 94 Street Fighter, the movie comes out, the live action movie.
Yes.
With John Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. Mortal Kombat comes out. The first one, 95.
Yeah.
I would say
we loved it.
Yeah.
Now, if you go back and watch it, it may not. It
might not hold up, but then
we loved it. We watched it repeatedly.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like,
it's great. Came out of the movie hype.
Yes.
Like, the scorpion and get over here. And
that was everybody
coming out of the hand. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did a good job.
Yeah.
And it's like fast forward to now. Now we have Mortal Kombat, the reboot came out during COVID.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, okay, well, when is Street Fighter going to do something? And then now we're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting. Tune in, folks, because there will definitely be, I will go ahead and say, there will probably, more than likely, be a review on Street Fighter. I am praying that I am proven wrong. But
so we look at a lot of Rotten Tomatoes because I think a lot of our fascination with Rotten Tomatoes is the comparison between the critics and
65%, 88% on the
and see, that says everything you need to know.
Right.
Don't worry about people. What do you say? 88. What you say? Those are fans of the IP.
Right.
And that's who they were.
I will be honest, the critic score is pretty high for what this is.
Yeah.
65 is, usually critics are pretty hard. That's still low.
Decent. I mean, when the gap is wide like that,
right.
20 or more,
yes,
you can kind of tell,
like,
we didn't do this for one group.
Yeah.
We did it for the other.
Did it for the fans. Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's it.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of those critics may very well be fans to help skew it upward.
Right.
Because if you review movies, it's a good chance that you like geek, you probably in the geek culture. There might be a decent percentage of those critics that
Yes.
like movies and they like
Right.
video games. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you might get that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So when I look at that, I'm thinking, okay, they did what they were supposed to do, and you have to know your audience, right?
Right.
Whatever it is you're doing, if you're in business, you need to know your audience.
Yes.
So you don't want to get into trying to make it realistic and gritty, and everybody can like it. Nope, failure, and that's
Right.
right. To your point that you made, that is what ends up happening, and that's probably what happened. You know, again, per your point, with the first one,
Right.
they trying to bring in Cole. Cole Young was not even a character in the game.
Right.
And so
that was that
people that was like, me were like, what is this? And I'm out. I'm out.
Right.
Who is this guy?
Right.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, where's Johnny? Johnny should have been playing that guy's part.
Right. The other part of that movie that failed was they went to Earthrealm. They weren't
out and out.
Yeah, they came to Earth and it felt like they were invading Earth versus yeah.
The tournament was in Edenia. I mean, everything was accurate down to the whole Shao Kahn being Katana's father and stuff like that, but they never really got into how that was. And then when they explained it in the movie, is pretty cool, everybody was well represented.
Yes.
And if you played the game, you recognized every move that was done. Like Shao Kahn and that shoulder charge was iconic in the game. And he did it 4 times. I counted.
Right.
And I mean, if I'm off, I might have missed one, but I know 4 in particular. And he was video game accurate because he put in work with that hammer in the game.
Yes.
It's like, he would just kind of pull it out, what I'm saying, but everybody.
I hear critics that say, well, why does it just take him and he has this massive army and it's just him and they fight one-on-one, and I'm kind of like, well, we don't play the game.
It's that's it. Right. And those are the critics. And again, and I'm not, I am guilty of that type of stuff when I'm, critiquing other things. But I am genuinely here admitting a bias. Like I let things slide for this movie that I would never let slide for another movie. And I'm just admitting it. And I'm meeting that right now because of the intimate relationship that I have with this game.
Right.
And so, the story was doubted, I mean, but that was a story in the game. So what you gonna do? It's like, it's a video game. We fighting 10 times and we gotta, if we lose 10 times, we lose the wreck.
Right.
So, that's crazy work.
Yeah.
But
you just gotta extend me grace when Chow Yun Fat is holding a baby and a shotgun.
And I will, man, because I know you love
hard boiled, man.
I know you love action, so let it slide.
It's an OG classic right there. You know what I'm saying?
Hold the baby.
Yes. He doesn't hold the baby the whole movie. Now that would be silly. This is not Tropic Thunder area. You're right.
So, okay. Did you have a favorite character in the movie? I had one, man. I had one. I did.
Did I have a favorite character?
Yeah. Okay, let's make it easier.
Kung Lao.
Oh my God.
He was cold in this.
Listen, man.
He was undead, but still working.
Man, my favorite character. That was my guy. Man, I played with that guy, his character so much on that game. And a friend of mine, like I said, man, I have so much history. So, yeah, I'm going to tell the story as quick as I can. The same story I told you.
Okay.
So, when I first came back I had left Tennessee and I come back. And Rivergate Mall, RIP, they just knocked it down not too long ago. It's rubble now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A big hole in the ground.
Yeah.
But I worked.
Tore the sign down. It's crazy.
Everything's down.
Yeah.
That whole all is gone.
Yeah.
But I didn't work in there. I did work in there later, but when I was in college, I didn't work in there. I would always ride the bus and go up there just to play Mortal Kombat. And, I came in there and one of the guys, there was a guy that worked in there. My guy T, shout out T, the Broadway rapper. You can catch him on the weekends playing the drums and freestyle in Nashville, Tennessee. Check him out. Broadway rapper and Instagram. Check him out. Anyway, he was my partner in crime on the Mortal Kombat. We met on playing the game in the cyber station in Rivergate Mall, the arcade, when the arcade was jumping in the 90s.
Right.
And so he played with Liu Kang and I played with Kung Lao. And so we would just be, just going everywhere we could find a machine to play the game on. And, I loved Kung Lao. And like you said, he represented all that, hat gunplay, as I like to call it, was crazy. And he was so well represented. And you recognized all the moves that were done and that were available to him as far as his repertoire was concerned. And again, I mean, they just, I really believe that the makers of the game sat down and said, "Look, man, like you said, course correct. Let's get this right." Because again, there wasn't a lot of that in the first one. There wasn't a lot of recognizable moves that you were familiar with as a gator. They just characters in there, and they were just fighting. And I'm like, where's the game?
Right.
Kung Lao was my favorite, as was the fight he was in.
I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here.
Okay.
But that fight scene was one of the dopest fight scenes I have seen.
It was.
And I watched a lot of martial arts movies.
It was top notch, man.
The stuff that he was doing with the hat and the hand movements just to control the hand.
Yes.
And the phasing in and out.
Yes, man. I mean, yeah, he's.
But while he was phasing in and out, he's doing a move.
Yes.
Oh man, the countering, all of that stuff.
Man. He made me proud. I was like, this is the.
I would say, and that was like right. I feel like they placed it right in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Because if anything, if you were doing rewatches, that would be the place to go to every single time.
It's up there, man. It's up there with one of the best fights in a geek culture movie, for sure.
Right.
It's up there.
Yeah. It was beautiful. Like the backgrounds were beautiful. And I heard a critic like tearing it down. I was like,
that was a portal. That was an iconic screen in the game, man. Iconic.
But it was like in the movie, like watching it on the big screen. It was just beautiful to watch. And then they're fighting in front of it. Yeah. It's just.
Yeah.
The shadow was right. The lighting was right.
It was wonderful, man.
Right.
It was the best fight in the whole movie.
Oh my gosh. Liu Kang showed out on that one.
Oh man, they showed it. Yeah, see a little background on that, man. They alluded to it a lot. He called him his brother, but that was literally his brother in the Shaolin camp. Like that's not his like
blood
biological,
right.
But brother in the clan. You know what I'm saying? They're Shaolin. They both Shaolin, and they were tight. And so, Kung Lao lost his life, and that's why he's still talking about trying to bring him back. Like that was a fight not to take his life, but it was either him or me, that type of deal.
Right.
And even when Liu Kang, met his end, quote unquote, his goal is to still bring his brother back. Like he still, he feels like if he goes, he can, and wherever his brother is gone after his death, he have to bring him back. So that's going to be exciting too. Like, because they just resurrecting people in that game. Yeah. I mean, that movie.
Right.
We'll see more of them.
Yeah.
Like Liu Kang's coming back, man.
Right.
He's the Bruce Lee of the movie.
Yeah, man. That fight scene was amazing.
Yes.
Top yeah, that one was the favorite. What was another fight scene that you liked? Katana was showing out.
This is one that people probably won't like, probably won't agree with. But I enjoyed very much the Johnny Cage Baraka fight.
Yes.
Because Baraka was a weird character on the game. He had the smallest move set as far as power moves in the game.
Right.
He only had two. Like two.
That's right. The projectile and the
Cuisinart thing.
This is Cuisinart.
That's what I called it.
Oh, okay.
That was the
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
It was crazy. So, but I was impressed with how he looked and how he used the project, because in the game it was just kind of like, like a normal projectile.
Right.
But he was like machine gunning them things.
Right.
I was like, man, that's dope how they did that. Like,
Right.
that's crazy.
And how Johnny was.
And Johnny was like on dodge Matrix stuff, dodging.
Right.
I'm like, man, this is not getting enough talk.
Right.
They're not talking enough about Johnny's ability.
Right. I love the stunt choreography because, of course, Carl Urban is not doing them flips.
No,
but it's not one of those things where it's like you watch the movie and then it's like they did a good job of, like, when he's doing the flips, you're not really seeing his face.
Right, just body. Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't like a star. It was like, no, they made it believable that he's doing all these moves.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The Baraka fight was number 2 for me.
Yeah. And I love how they interject humor. And I think that's the one thing that I really enjoyed with the film that made it entertaining. It was like, they were doing this dance of like, well, we're going to take ourselves semi-seriously because it's the fate of the world and
Right.
But then they would ride this line of like, let's inject humor here, humor here.
But it was well placed.
Yeah, it was well-placed humor. Not to get away from that fight, but I like how they, had Johnny Cage at like Comic-Con because he was like a washed up actor at this point.
Yeah.
And like even the Ed Boon Easter egg was pretty. I was like, that's well placed. It didn't.
Yeah, a lot of fan service, man.
Right. Yeah. But I just like that because like even the characters that like Johnny Cage was like kind of just laughing off like Baraka, and they were like, hey, you don't want to. Yeah, he's wild. You don't want to like, you don't need to take this lightly. You can see them smirking, like, it's almost like they egging him on to fight him. That's like, go ahead. Jax is kind of looking at him like,
hey, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And you're laughing about it. Barack was a big dude, man.
Yeah, he was.
I like that they made him
yeah,
big guy.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. I mean, I do, man. I was thoroughly see when you go in with lower expectations, which had been raised by the homies after, because I was the last one to go.
Right.
And I was getting calls from everybody. I'm thinking, man, it was like that, and I gotta go because it was gonna get R-rated. And I was like, no, I got to pay for this. I got to go to the theater. I got to go to the theater.
Yes.
So I went. And I enjoyed it, and I'm glad I did.
That's good, man. Should come to the theater more often.
I try to do. Just
hey, man.
I don't know.
Hey, man, there's a lot of movies coming out this.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
What else did you like about it? Like, did you like the story with Katana and Kung Lao and not Kung Lao? Why am I blanking? Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn was, like I said, again, very well represented.
Yeah. He was rendered nicely. Like, it looked really ominous and mysterious.
And he had he was nice with his hands, bro. Like, usually when you're the end boss of a game like that, and you don't have a real big moveset, but that guy was a fighter. And his actual, his moves, he looked really good. Yeah, for how large of a guy he was.
Right.
And he was brutal, man. Like, brutal.
Yeah. I speaking of humor, I liked the interjection of Kano.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. But Kano has always been that.
Yeah.
Like, they have to do that. He's
I didn't like
cutthroat, but he's still a clown at the same time.
What is that character's the dead guy, the white guy.
I'm sorry, Quan Chi.
Kwang Chi. Yeah.
Quan Chi. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he made his eye. I was like, I know he can do it, but it just didn't. It felt a little. Feels like, let's hurry up and give him his eye without putting the cybernetics around it. It's like, okay, but I'll allow it because they were already. The hooks were already in me.
So I was shocked that they included Quan Chi in the movie, because Quan Chi didn't make an appearance until 3.
Right.
Was it 3? Yeah, I think it was 3.
Yeah.
But-
And it's interesting because Shang Tsung
Mhm.
in the, and I'm talking about the movie in '95, he was like the main.
Because he was the main guy in the
That's
first.
right.
He was the
That's
boss.
right.
He was the
Oh, I
boss.
see. Gotcha.
Mhm.
That's right.
So in two, Shang Tsung was like working kind of. Yeah, I mean, they kept it accurate, man.
Right.
These dudes were. Shao Kahn was that guy, and he was enlisting the services of Shang Tsung,
Okay.
not Quan Chi necessarily. They
Right.
kind of just brought him in for
Yeah.
3, but it worked
Right.
because Quan Chi had hands in 3. Like he was a fighter, like
Right.
he was a playable fighter. But yes, and he looked exactly like they did him well as well. I thought that was pretty good, and they gave him a good use. They kidnapped him. Now they rolling around with a necromancer to go out and raise their people back up.
Right.
Because you can't have a Mortal Kombat movie without Liu Kang. You can't do it. So
Right.
he'll be back.
That felt, and this is not a dig on the movie, that felt a little weird
Mm-hmm.
because it was like, so you're going to bring Cole Young back too?
No, we can leave him, man. We can leave him, man.
Oh, well, you can't. They killed Jax. They killed a lot of people.
What was the? Because see, if you're familiar with the video game, the Deadpool, if you fall off in that water, you come up and your skin, everything's gone. You're just bone. Everything, it's acid. That's acid right there.
Yes.
And that was one of the like little fatality. That was the screen fatality.
Yes.
You get knocked in there,
Right.
and then your bones float up
Right.
because you got, it's a city.
Fatality.
Yeah. So Shao Kahn just kind of eased Cole off into the acid. So bringing him back is gonna be tough.
Yeah. And his head was gone.
Yeah. Right. So that may not be one that Quan.
Do you know if people cheered in the theater from his death? That's crazy. They were just like,
Those were hey fans. Get out of here. And what?
finish him.
Right. Get him out of here.
Right.
Facts. Yes, we were happy about that.
It was,
Oh, young.
yeah, it was hilarious. And again, I don't know if this was intentionally placed as humor, but every time Cole has some dialogue, I would lean over to Mr. Nuts and go, "Hey man, he gonna die." Because it was almost like he was, how like in a movie you watch and you're like,
He's a sacrificial lamb.
yeah, that person
You
gonna
can tell.
die. They'll say things that are like heartfelt, and it's like, why are you saying this now? You're about to die in a minute. But
I mean, when you stepped into the Deadpool with Shao Kahn,
It's
we
like-
all knew.
Yeah.
This isn't. You're not fighting.
We were
other
getting-
combatants.
I was that like I was grabbing. Yeah, I was like here. I was nudging. I was just like, man,
Get him out of here.
it's about to happen. It's about to go down.
And it happened worse than I thought.
Yeah.
He
He
headless body into the.
he just said, man, I need to clean up an aisle. Deadpool. You know what I'm saying?
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
But I was dying laughing because it was almost as if they were just writing it to say, hey, we listened to you.
And that's what I'm saying.
I felt bad for the actor because it's like, dang, man.
Yeah, man.
know.
He got paid for 2 movies.
You got paid for 2 movies. You got, residuals.
Cold world.
Yeah, cold world. It is a cold world. You're not in it. You know what I'm saying?
You got to pay.
Yeah.
Go see the movie.
Residuals. Yeah, that's.
I mean, he made it to halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is screen time. They didn't kill him right away.
Yeah.
They could have killed him right away.
Right. Should have. But no, they did it perfectly.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the combatants, you know what I'm saying? You don't check him off the board,
Right.
It was crazy that they checked Johnny off right away. Because of the fight. Because his
Yes.
phone
Look
went
at
out with
right.
Ryan.
Yes. She showed mercy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because she was a mole.
Yes.
Yeah. Good movie, man.
Yeah.
I was very surprised.
Oh, Jade. Oh.
Yeah, man, Jay. Not a playable character, but integral in the series.
Yes. Very integral.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, she was. She provided Katana with the blades. I mean,
Those fans were iconic.
Yes.
Because that was her thing. Katana, those fans were lethal.
Yeah.
Everything was well represented.
Yeah, man. So are you excited for 3 now?
Now I am.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, man, let's go, man. Get to writing. If it's gonna be this, then come on.
I wonder if there was like
Leave them sectors and Cyraxes out the movie. Cause see, 3 is when I started. That's when I started hating Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 3 was terrible to me. I hated that game.
Why is that?
They added all these mechanics,
Oh, I see.
a run button. The game just got real hokey. They Sub-Zero. They took.
Is this where they had
gas
smoke
off.
and
Yeah, it was bad, bro. They had the nerve to take Scorpion off in the original iteration. People were livid, and so they re-released it and called
did they try to
Ultimate,
right?
and brought Scorpion back because you can't take. Come on, man, that's like.
Didn't they try to write him and say, well, his essence was in the robot or something?
No, cause even when they brought him back, Cyrax and Sector were cybernetic ninjas. They weren't even human.
And I could be, I don't know, I might be mixing up stuff, but I feel like they kept having these cyborgs that kind of mimic the powers of Sub-Zero or Scorpion.
I think they were I think one of the clans was supposed to replace the Lin Kuei, which is Sub-Zero's clan, if I'm not mistaken. It's something. There is a connection there between Lin Kuei and one of those guys, but it didn't work for me. It was doing a lot of weird. They had Striker, Beat Cop was fighting. We had a nightstick and some mines. I'm like,
Right.
It was awful.
Right.
That's when they actually gave Jax the metal arms. He didn't have the metal arms.
Do you think that they were competing with Street Fighter then? Because Street Fighter, I will give Street Fighter this. Street Fighter is good in adding characters.
They're very good at that.
Right.
Although they made a mistake too when they brought out 3 and thought they could take Ken away and it would be okay.
Yeah, no.
Like, bro.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Chun-Li, the majority of the main characters from World Warrior were gone. Like they took Dalsum away, they took Zangief away, they took Blanca away, they took Hondo away, they took Ken away, they took Guile away. Nobody from World Warrior outside of Ryu was there.
And that was 3, not Third Strike.
Yeah, on Third Strike, they fixed it.
Yeah. And had some unique characters in there.
Correct. Right.
Lena and
Yeah.
Q and
Q. Dudley was dope though.
yeah,
Dudley.
body blow. Yeah. I heard that enough. Yeah. Playing with and it's funny, and to wrap this up, it's I love geek culture because a lot of my really good friendships were birthed out of it from the love of geek culture. So like, first is movies, and then when you start getting into video games, the friends that you play those video games with, you create these bonds with, and man. So, saying all that, me and Hattori Hanzo used to play Third Strike.
Yeah.
It didn't even matter if I got beat half the time.
Yeah, it's just playing camaraderie, bro.
And it was almost like I was training to beat them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like you were telling your story with T.
Yeah.
And you even met Mr. Nuts.
Yeah, Street Fighter though. I met him playing Street Fighter and Virtual Fighter.
Yeah.
That's
before you met T.
Yeah. Oh,
not to put you on the spot.
That's a good question.
Right.
I think I might have met T first.
Okay.
And I think Mr. Nuts didn't really know who I was until like later, because like I said, I'm just not getting back in town and stuff like that. But Mr. Nuts didn't like. He enjoyed watching Mortal Kombat. He didn't participate in Mortal Kombat.
Right.
He was like you, more of a Street Fighter guy, more of a hand-drawn kind of Children of the Atom, Street Fighter Alpha, that type of stuff.
When Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out, I was over there.
Yeah,
it was
Children of the Atom was very intimidating to me. I stayed away from it for months before I touched it.
Yeah. But I do enjoy Mortal Kombat. I do like the new reboot. I mean, it's gory as hell, but
It's crazy. It's gotten way out of hand. It's like
right.
it's just gore for the sake of gore now.
Yeah, and it's
I
almost
think
like
they're
they
sacrificing
grew.
the gameplay.
Yeah,
like
it's almost like they're growing with the 3D technology. It's like, okay, the more realistic we can get with the 3D technology, the more gory it gets.
Yeah, to the point
Now
where
it gets
the
your
game
bone
is
and flesh.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not the same
Right.
anymore. You know, but hey, man, if the young generation.
So you're a purist. You like the old school
Okay. You know what I'm
games.
saying?
You don't like the new reboot.
Nah, they doing a whole lot of crazy stuff, man.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's the way, so the direction is moving,
Yeah.
Aged out, bro.
Yeah.
Aged out.
Well, hey man, I was pleasantly surprised at Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. It's gonna get watched as soon as it lands again, you know what I'm saying, on streaming.
Right.
Immediately, I'm going straight to the middle for the Kung Lao fight. I was actually rooting for the undead bad guy.
Yeah, that was, oh man, that was so.
He went out tough, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I ranked that up there with like Batman warehouse scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's good.
yeah, the whole time I was like, I don't want this to end.
No, fight.
Right.
Yeah, go see it, y'all.
Yeah.
It's dope. It's great. Loved it. You know where to find us out here. What's website? You know what it is. Instagram. You know where we at. How about you?
Peace.
He